Hey guys, it's Heather from Cookies for Breakfast here with the pregnancy week 30 update vlog. And I would say this every week, and I know I say that every week. I can't believe that we're already at week 30. There's 10 more weeks left if things go well. Benjamin was born at 39 weeks by the doctor's estimation. I'd say probably a little bit more than that by mine. So I don't even know if I can count on 40 weeks. I have to say, because Benjamin was born like a week early, I kind of feel like that will happen again. I don't know. I just kind of feel like I've been saying that I really want to have the longest pregnancy of all time, and I want to go really a long time with this. As long as humanly possible. I definitely want to get over 40 weeks, 41, 42, which I know people think is crazy, but I don't know. I just don't think that I'm going to make it that far. I feel like because Benjamin was at 39 and that was my first. I know usually it takes longer for first babies. People are usually later with the first. But since he wasn't, I feel like that probably won't happen again. But who knows? Maybe it will. I don't know. So anyway, I have some notes from the past week. It's been kind of a crazy week. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I wanted to film it yesterday but couldn't because I was so emotional. We had a bunch of stuff going on last week. Obviously it was Halloween. Derek left work early and took Friday off so he could come to celebrate Halloween with us, which was really nice. It was nice to have a couple days together as a family. We got to do normal family Halloween things. We took Benjamin to a trunk or treat event at a nearby church, which was amazing. It was incredible. I can't believe it was like a whole carnival, honestly. They had like a fire truck there that kids could go on. They had all the people who decorated. There was like a trunk decorating contest. So the people who were giving out the candy out of the trunks of their car, which sounds shady, but it was actually nice. They were all decorated. They had like free food. It was entirely free. They had free food. They had carnival games. It was all lit. The church didn't have a lot of parking, so they had parking like across the street and like up the road. It started at 6 o'clock, and we got there at like 6:15, and the parking lot was already full. So they opened up a second parking lot, and they had a shuttle bus, like a really nice shuttle bus, not like a school bus. It was like one that people around this area use for weddings, driving people back and forth. So that was Benjamin. It was awesome because he was in a shuttle bus, sitting on our lap and not in a car seat, and actually driving on the road. So that was pretty cool. Don't send the car seat police after me. Normally I'm all about car seat safety. We're doing extended rear facing, which is a whole separate other issue. But yeah, so he thought that was pretty cool. So that was fun. Saturday, Derek spent the whole day actually working at the house, putting in a stone retaining wall. So he's been putting in a lot of extra time at the house, driving things back and forth, helping out. I think I mentioned before, he's friends with the builder, so he's been helping out just to kind of help us get in sooner, which has been helping, but obviously not enough because till my backdrop, we're still here. So anyway, we were waiting. The big thing that we're waiting on, obviously, this week, because we're hoping to move this weekend, but I'm kind of thinking that's not going to happen. Which does not mean that I will be any less devastated if it doesn't happen. We're waiting on all the permits this week. Not the permits, but the inspections. So everything should be fine. However, we're waiting on the water test for our well. And apparently it has to get processed at a state lab. Now, we actually had the same water test done when we sold our old house back in February. So I know that when you have this water test done, you can get results back in a day or less, because we had it done 3 times. We were looking at having to have, in the old house, a water filtration system installed, but we ended up the water passing on the last house, so it was fine. Now, when I was going through all this back then, I talked to a water filtration expert, I guess, And he said that the quality of your water can change at any time, because I said we lived in this house for 4 years. We never had a problem. It obviously passed inspection the first time, or we have a problem the second time because some of the pH levels, I think, were off, and it was a VA loan, so I guess they're more picky with stuff like that. So anyway, it finally did pass, but we had some problems. Anyway, he said that the water can change. Like if somebody up the street or somebody miles away is drilling or doing something on the ground, it can shake up everything and change the quality of your water. So to that I say, if we have problems with this water, who cares? It's our choice if we want to live there or not and have the water problem. So I think they're concerned that we might have high iron, and the Board of Health will sign off on the occupancy permit if we don't have a water filtration system. But we sent the water in well over a week ago, probably a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and it's still not back yet. It was supposed to be back last Friday. It didn't come in. Then they said it would be this Monday, so it would have been yesterday. Now it's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday. And if we don't pass the water test, we have to have the filtration system installed, which is $3,000, I think, at a minimum. And we're so tapped out. There were so many unforeseen costs dealing with digging the foundation. We hit ledge, and there's so many costs that we could never have expected that got added into the house. So adding an extra $3,000, which when you think about how much you pay for a house, doesn't seem like that much. It's a big deal at this point because we've already overspent a lot by things not in our control at all. So, and the big thing is, apart from that, I don't even care about the money as much, but we can't have a water system installed by the time we would need the occupancy. Because we find out tomorrow, I highly doubt it's going to be first thing in the morning. You have to get a special filtration system guy out there. Then you have to get the plumber back out there. And the final building inspection, the inspector, he only works until Monday through Thursday, so he doesn't even come out on Friday. So in the rare miracle that we could actually get the filtration system in, there's no way that it would be in before the building inspector could come out. So please, if everybody could say a prayer. I know I've been asking for this a lot, that the water comes back okay, because if the water's fine, then everything, we should clear all the other inspections. It should be fine, and we can move this weekend. If not, then I don't even know what's going to happen, honestly. I really don't. I can't even think about it. So I've just been in a terrible emotional state about the house. As you saw from my crying video last week, I feel like I'm on some kind of a happy pill right now because I'm not crying. That's all I've been doing for weeks, I feel. I've just been on the edge, and lately it's been even worse. So anyway, that's the story with the house. It's kind of ridiculous that we'll find out on Wednesday if we're moving on Saturday. So there's that whole drama, which is making me very emotionally fragile. And last week on Halloween, I also had my 3-hour gestational diabetes blood glucose tolerance test. And I found out yesterday that it did not go very well. So cue all the hysterical tears yesterday, all day. I was just total mess. I can't even tell you. I have a separate post going, working on for that, about my reaction, how awful it's been. I realize that there are many worse things in the world that could happen, but I don't know. If somebody told me before I even experienced this, if somebody told me months ago, oh, I have gestational diabetes, I'm so upset, I would tell them to buck up and deal with it because it's not a big deal. However, now that I'm experiencing it, and I've been reading all the stuff online about these horror stories and what it can lead to, I'm just overly concerned. I'm concerned about, I guess we could start from least to go to greatest. I'm concerned that it increases my chances for type 2 diabetes later on in life. I've always said I'd rather die than have diabetes because I like my carbs a lot. So anyway, that could happen. The baby could have, or would be at higher risk for being overweight and obese and developing type 2 diabetes themselves in their future. It says nothing about what could happen, like, as it trickles on throughout the generations. It's not just me, it's not just the baby, that goes on through like grandchildren and great grandchildren. Like, it's a really big deal. So that goes. Then and I should not even be rambling on about this, because it's all going to be in the other posts, but a lot of midwives won't treat you if you have gestational diabetes, especially if it gets really bad. So no midwives means doctors, which means a higher likelihood of a C-section, a less likelihood of a VBAC, which is like my primary goal of this whole experience. It's high risk of preeclampsia, which can lead to like a preterm birth. Certainly not my 40 weeks. Like, think about things. I just can't even think about like all these possibilities that this could lead to. So anyway, I did some detective work today. I got my actual numbers from the test, and I actually got my results from when I had the 1 hour and the 3 hour when I was pregnant with Benjamin. So I think I've discovered that when I talked to the nurse at my old OB's office, and I asked if they had changed the recommendations, because when I took the 3 hour test with him, I was not on a special diet at all. I just had to fast the night before, and I took the test, and my results were not great, but I still passed, barely. But this time I had to be on a special diet, which I think I wrote about was like kind of ridiculous, the amount of things that I had to like cram into my regular diet. So you're supposed to have like 150 grams of carbs. Now they gave me a specific, I was supposed to have, I believe it was 5 servings of starch, and they were like big servings. 2 servings of dairy, which was at least like a cup, which a cup of yogurt is a lot, and I eat a lot of yogurt. And I think it was 2 fruits, and that was all a minimum. So I was trying to stuff my face with all these foods for 3 days, and I honestly I could not even eat all that in addition to what I normally eat, which is what they said to do. So I found a nutritional calculator and calculated. I found that the recommendation is 150 grams of carbs for 3 days before, which some doctors recommend, some doctors don't. So my old practice didn't. And I calculated the carbs in my yogurt that I have in the morning, which I have whole milk, plain organic yogurt with like a tiny handful of like this, I don't know, I get it at Costco, like this organic pumpkin seed granola. Put in some chia seeds and like a sprinkling of chocolate chips. So I have that in the morning every day. I also have that for dessert every day. And given it was last week, it was Halloween, I was having a lot of Halloween candy. So I calculated the carbohydrates in just the morning breakfast and my dessert, and 4 Reese's peanut butter cups. And that does not include any other snacks, anything else I was eating. It doesn't include lunch. It does not include dinner. And that was 103 grams of carbohydrates. So obviously my diet is well over 150 grams of carbs a day anyway, like well over. So the fact that I was like stuffing my face with all of these extra carbs on top of like what I normally eat, it's not surprising that the results were not that great. So I have an hour appointment with a nurse on Thursday this week. Then I have the meeting with the doctor for the VBAC consultation afterwards. And later on in the day, I'm going to see the chiropractor, which I'm super psyched about. So I'm hoping that they'll have some recommendations for this as well, up on top of the other issues that I've been having. So anyway, I'm contemplating having the test redone again. I mean, obviously there's definitely a problem. I'm not going to deny that, my body processes sugar how it should. But I don't think the situation is as dire as the numbers would make it seem. I actually made a spreadsheet and comparing the sets of numbers. Some of my numbers when I was pregnant with Benjamin were significantly worse than the numbers this time around. Some of the numbers this time were worse than with him as well. So it's kind of a balance. But I honestly believe that the results would have been a lot different if I didn't have this entire carb festival. And I just ate normally for the days preceding the test. So contemplating asking for a retest just for my own peace of mind to know how much I should be freaking out. because, like I said, all these factors and symptoms and everything lead to outcomes that I'm really, really upset about. So, I mean, honestly, I found this out yesterday morning, and I spent like all day like crying, which seems ridiculous. Like, my rational self says it's not that big of a deal. However, when I think about all the possible things that could go wrong, things that, like this is supposed to be my empowering birth, and I know obviously the goal is to have a healthy baby and a healthy mother. However, if you have gestational diabetes, you're probably having neither. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that, but it's not going to be as healthy of a pregnancy as having without it. But I have a lot of regrets about Benjamin's birth. Things that I think I did wrong, things I think the doctors did wrong, and I really wanted this to be my chance to kind of not beat the system, but beat the statistics. I really, really, really want the VBAC. I want really, really getting into the idea of a natural birth with no drugs at all. And as soon as you start talking about any of these risk factors, all that stuff like kind of goes out the window, and it's just like devastating to think that I wouldn't be able to have this empowering birth. And if I have another C-section this time, my chances of having a VBAC on a third child are even less likely. So I'm putting a lot of eggs in this basket of this time, and then if we do have a third child, then it should be able to avoid a C-section again, I would hope. But if I have a C-section this time, then the third time, it's supposed it could happen, but it just seems it could be less likely. So, like I said, even though this is all right now, I've just been a complete disaster. Even this morning, honestly, my mom and I took Benjamin out to breakfast. We went to a bookstore afterwards. Like, I was just still so upset. Like, I have a throbbing headache from all the crying. I just wanted to cry the whole time we were out. And then once I started kind of crunching the numbers and doing some research this afternoon, then I started feeling better and more in control. So I guess right now I don't have enough information. I'm actually kind of looking forward to doing like the finger sticks. I'm very itchy. Just to see like what the baseline is, just to see what my levels are after meals and fasting levels, to see how concerned I really should be, because maybe it's not that bad. And then I would feel better. So I'm kind of excited for that. So anyway, I'm excited. So we've got Thursday, which should be interesting because I feel like I'm seeing a nurse in the doctor's office, and I'm seeing a doctor in the doctor's office. Nowhere in here are my midwife nurses, or seeing a midwife. So I feel like a lot of non-natural things are going to be pushed on me. I'm hoping that they're reasonable. I've been reading up a lot about like natural remedies for gestational diabetes, things that I can do to kind of help keep my sugar levels under control naturally. So eventually I would hope to not end up on insulin or anything, and control it with just, a good diet and these natural remedies, I guess. So I will have that on Thursday, seeing the chiropractor after that. Tomorrow I'm excited because I'm having a prenatal massage done. Thank you to my mother who's sending me for that, so that's good. Hopefully that will help me relax before we get the news on the water test, which I'm super nervous about. Let's see. As far as symptoms, the heartburn is still it's not great. It's definitely not great at all. It's getting worse. However, I don't think it's as bad as it was with Benjamin, so that's good. The weight gain has been fairly steady. Not really anything alarming this week. I have it written down somewhere, but I think I'm at 22.5 pounds, something like that, which I think is better than when I was pregnant with Benjamin, I'm pretty sure. It has to be, honestly, because with him, I was at 41 to 43 pounds, so I've only got 10 weeks left. So I can't imagine that I would have gained 20 pounds in the last 10 weeks. I don't know. I don't think so, but I think I am doing better in that respect. And I have been super tired. Now, some of these things kind of make me think this is going to be the longest video ever. But there's a lot to say, especially with the diabetes issue. I have been very tired. When I was pregnant with Benjamin, I was insatiably thirsty the whole time, and I was always peeing, which I guess kind of goes hand in hand, but that also is like a diabetes symptom. Well, granted, it's a pregnancy symptom as well, so you can't really, take it with a grain of salt. This time I haven't been as thirsty. I've been thirsty. I've been thirstier lately, I guess. And with Benjamin, the thirst picked up towards the end. And I am like a pee machine anytime I'm pregnant. So, that's interesting. And I've just been like, just lately, like, I feel like I've been so tired. Like, I have been staying up later. But I've been napping when Benjamin's napping, I've been napping during the day because I can't even think about staying up. And then come 4 o'clock, I'm toast. Which is a little bit early, I feel, in the third trimester to have this kind of exhaustion. So maybe that's related to the sugar issue. So we'll see if, with some diet changes, if that does help. And also, I forgot to mention this last week. Got my super sexy back brace in the mail from Amazon. Let me see. Okay, this is how, check it out. So this part goes in the front, and then this is the back. I can show you too when I stand up to do the belly bump shot. It gets uncomfortable, but I've gotten kind of used to it, and if I don't wear it, it's like, I'm very uncomfortable and in a lot of pain. So it actually does work. I was skeptical in the beginning because I didn't think it was helping enough. But I started wearing it every day, and sometimes I won't wear it. Like, I won't wear it in the morning, or I won't wear it for a couple hours in the afternoon. I can definitely feel it. So it is helping a lot. I think it was definitely worth it. And it was like $25, I think, on Amazon. So if I can remember, I'll put the link to it down below in the text portion of the blog update. So anyway, that is it. We'll do tipping over. So with this, this obviously goes under your clothes, but so you go. Get it under here. It goes supports under here, and then it has the bow. Now the one big pain is that you can go to the bathroom with it on. However, it's pretty impossible to, like, if you have that against your bare skin without underwear, it's super uncomfortable and it's not even worth it. So in the beginning, I was like, whatever, I'm not going to take it off every time I go to the bathroom except to pee every hour or less. But now I actually take it off and put it back on every time because it's like to have the underwear underneath it. Just that little bit of fabric makes a huge difference in comfort level. So that's kind of the only pain is that you have to take it on and put it off. And I'm not into having to fuss with stuff like that. But it's worth the hassle. It's worth all that because the support that it gives and the relief and pain that it gives is so huge that it's totally worth it. So I can't believe that from like a few weeks ago I went from honestly like having days where it was really hard to walk to now being like a normal person again. So that's super exciting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. oh god, this video is so long. I'll try to cut it off. That's it. I will see you next week. Hopefully with good news. It would be great if I was filming this vlog in our new house next week. I don't even know if I have a feeling on if that's going to happen or not. I kind of feel like no, but in which case I will probably be in a sobbing mess pile on the floor. I can't even eat my feelings. Like, that's what I do if I'm upset. I mean, I obviously can't drink. I can't like pop a Xanax or anything. So typically what I do, even not in this situation, is I eat my feelings. Like, I like to have cookies, I like to have stuff like that. And it just makes me feel better. And I can't even do that. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do I do to make myself feel better about all these things that are going wrong? And it seems like every single day there's something else that's going wrong. So it's just been a big old mess lately. And I just want everything to start improving. So maybe week 31 will be my week. I hope so. So everybody just keep your fingers crossed. Say an extra prayer. Do something like that. Send good thoughts my way. I would appreciate it. And that is all. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.